Gonna have to edit the beginning. So, how you guys all doing? Thanks for showing up. Gonna make this about 45 minutes. I got a lot of editing to do tonight. I also have to get up really early, so there will not be a Tube Reef live stream next weekend. There will not. It's my birthday, so I will not be available. So we're gonna talk about a couple other things here. A lot of you guys know that the website is up and running, RotterTubeReef.com. It's a forum, it's a web page. You guys can chat with each other through instant message. It's a lot of cool things, and you can post pictures of your tanks right on the site. It's really great. I'm really happy with the way the site turned out. Thank you to everybody who gave monetized gifts. You can do so here by clicking on the $sign super chat, and that will keep your comments up in the super chat the more you donate. The donations go towards the website, and I also put your name with a link to your YouTube channel or your business on the members section or the contributors section of Tube Reef. Okay, so backlinks do help your SEO, search engine optimization, and you guys can see who is responsible for keeping that site flowing. We've got Heather, we've got Mass Aquariums, so you guys can check out the contributors section in the website Tube Reef. Also, if you don't do it here, if you want to, you can click on the PayPal link to be a contributor. No real dollar amount. I may work out certain monetization levels, like what you'll get is for me giving back to you guys. So that's that. I hope you're enjoying the website. We've got a lot of subscribers, a lot of members, and moderators. It's a really cool site. I'm happy with it. So thanks for joining. Don't forget to check it out. Also, don't forget to check out the Facebook page, which is still going on. All these links are in the video description below. Thank you, Mandy. Happy birthday to me. Yes, I'm getting older. I feel like I'm over 100 years old half the time when I get up. Right. So today is one of my very good friends, Cheryl's birthday. She's not part of this. Although she does watch once in a while, I think, because her little son does. I've known Cheryl since we were in kindergarten. So, yes, over 40 years. I don't know where the time's going. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us here. I appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Today, we're going to talk about a sand bed or no sand bed. This has been a controversy for a long time. Should I have a sand bed? Should I not have a sand bed? And while I talk about this, you guys can talk amongst yourselves there. Think about what you want to say. I'll take a few calls. We'll do a giveaway. By the way, I've got a couple of rotter tubes that are going to be shipping this weekend. For those of you who've ordered the rotter tube, I'm currently using mine not as for filtration, but I've got PhosGuard pads in there to get those phosphates out of the tank. It's working out really great. So those will go out this weekend. They were on back order, and I have we did a giveaway on the phone last week. I have not sent it out yet, but it will be going out. We'll do another one shortly tonight. Just little tiny gifts. You know, this is not going to be like a protein skimmer. What do you think this is? CJ's Aquariums? Give me a break. I don't have CJ money, not yet. But it'll be some little cool little thing for your tank. Then you can tell all your friends and your grandma that you won something. So, what do I want to say? Okay, sand bed. Seaside Geckos says sand bed all the way. Mandy says the pros and cons, but personally I like the sand bed. No bare bottom for me. I'm sure she's talking about the sand bed. So, you guys, you're saying something that a lot of people say. Now, a sand bed for you beginners in the hobby, we're talking about the layer of sand that's in the bottom of your saltwater tank. That's a sand bed. A sand bed looks really cool because it looks like part of the ocean. We all have a little part of the ocean in our living room. I'll talk about the pros first. It looks cool. It looks like the ocean. It's really soothing. It just completes the package of your saltwater aquarium. Also, beneficial bacteria. You need bacteria in your tank. A lot of the newcomers are like, bacteria? That's disgusting. Well, you need it in your tank so it breaks down all the fish urine and all the other bad things. It helps to break down waste and go through the cycle, the nitrogen cycle. More on that later. So you need bacteria in your tank. We all need that, and we want to have as much as we can. Bacteria lives in your sand along with all the other little critters like copepods, amphipods. Those little copepods are those tiny little see-through bugs that you see right before you turn out the lights, or when you turn out the lights and you look in your tank with a flashlight. A lot of new reefers freak out like, what are all those little bugs crawling all over my tank? Those are healthy and you want those. Your fish eat them. If you have a mandarin goby, that's pretty much all they eat. Like I've got a mandarin goby named Mandy, even though it's a guy. Named him after Mandy here. And so that's the deal with that. Okay? It's ideal. Now, some people say have a deep sand bed. 3 to 6 inches would be great. The only problem with that is it gets dangerous because as all that waste breaks down, it goes through the little sand bits and the granules, and it gets down in there and it gets compacted. Now, some people say that that's really good because anaerobic bacteria is the good bacteria. It lives in very low oxygen levels, and it helps to break down the nitrates in your tank, turn them into gases, and get out of your tank. We don't want nitrates in the tank, so it's healthy. Wow, it actually sounds like I know what I'm talking about. So that's a good thing with a deep sand bed. The bad thing with a deep sand bed, a lot of reefers say that they could be a ticking time bomb because with all that waste, just like the dinosaurs trapped in the tar pits, you stir it up and it's going to release all those toxins. It's going to be bad. Toxins are bad for coral and toxins are bad for your fish. And a lot of people don't like deep sand beds because they say, again, they're a ticking time bomb. While other people say you should stir your sand bed, but not if it's deep. Because stirring your sand bed stirs all that stuff, releases it in your water column to allow it to get picked up by your filtration. Okay? So it's a lot of work. What I would do is I would siphon my sand bed, vacuum it like a third of the bed once every weekend when I do a 10% water change. You don't want to do the whole sand bed because you don't want to stir everything up too much. So yes, you're probably vacuuming up some copepods, probably not much. A lot of those guys live in the rock anyway. Then there's the thin sand bed that people like to use just for looks and just to kind of, well, pretty much just for looks and just to use as another layer of beneficial bacteria to colonize on everything. Bacteria grows on your rocks. That's why they call it live rock. And in your sand, that's why they call it live sand. But don't forget that bacteria also grows on your glass, in your sump, which is the little aquarium underneath with all the hoses underneath your tank in the cabinet. That's good too. It's also inside all your tubing, your PVC, everything that water touches, you've got bacteria colonizing on. So, do you need a sand bed? No, you do not. Hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm just talking. Michigan fan says, take a turkey baster and stir it up, then suck it up. Yes, that's what I used to do too. I would take a turkey baster and you put it like an inch or just above the sand and you just give it a squeeze and it blows a pocket of air into the sand and I would see all this dirt water go poof and it would just soak up. Another thing that I would do is as I was siphoning the sand bed, I would siphon it and then I would keep the siphon around that misty mud water to make sure it got sucked up. It was a terrible mess and it seemed like no matter how much I siphoned it, it was still a muddy mess in the same area the next weekend. In fact, the fish are notorious, not just mine, but yours too, to go to the washroom in the corners. And I've noticed that there's a lot more impacted garbage in the sides of the tanks than in the middle. They just do. That's just what they do. So a sand bed is good and probably so much better for you if you have less fish than I do. I love my tangs, and I make sure I don't have much rock work in there so they can swim around in it. A lot of you guys and girls probably noticed I don't have much rock work in there because I like my fish to swim behind the rock work, in front of the rock work, and in a figure eight, I've got a couple pockets where they can swim under and between. That is also very good for the water to flow through all those cavities and chambers. You don't ever want to have rocks piled on top of each other because, for one, it doesn't look cool. For two, you don't want to have a little bit of water flow. You want a lot of water flow because you want all the uneaten food and fish waste to flow down and out and up through your filtration. So, okay, I'm just reading what you guys said. So, that being said, I had a massive green hair algae outbreak. My nitrates are always very high. I only feed my fish once every other day now, okay? Rod's food and nori, and that's about it. That said, my nitrates are still around 30 or 40. I tried many different things. If you've seen in my videos, I currently have a refugium. I really like it. It's getting nasty. I'm going to have to clean that out tomorrow. Nitrates were at 0. They were pegged at 0, which is very good for the last month or two, and that's because the green hair algae was locking the nitrates up. Green hair algae is nasty. It's a cancer, and it feeds on phosphates and nitrates. I did the light blackouts. The lights were off for 3 to 4 days, 2 different times. I didn't feed the fish for once every 2 days. I think I skipped a third day at one point. Didn't matter. And my tangs didn't eat the green hair algae. I tried fluconazole. That didn't work. So I'm using Phosguard now. So for me, because my sand bed is so dirty, I said that's it. I've had the sand bed for 2 years. I decided I'm getting rid of it. And you guys saw in the previous video, I did. So right now, all I have is egg crate on the bottom underneath the rock. I really, really like how the egg crate looks. I'm going to suck up the rest of the sand tomorrow from between the egg crate. And yeah, the fish waste will be caught in the egg crate squares, but big deal. My water flow is a lot higher now with no sand. And I like the look of egg crate, and fish waste and fish food will not get caught up in there that much when I siphon out the water. So the pros to the cons to the sand bed, it's a crap trap. It traps all the food, the waste, just everything that's bad. And if your fish go to the bathroom a lot like mine, that's not good. I suppose if I had a large tank with just 6 clownfish, my problems would be so much less because those guys do not go to the bathroom much at all. Could probably get away with doing a water change once a month, and the sand would be immaculate. So there's the problem, and I know this. I have a lot more fish than I should, but they're all healthy. They get along great, and there's a lot of swimming room for them. Someone said, with green star polyps, it's heavily recommended to have sand. I'm not sure why. Dustin Marklow, I removed sand and it was the best thing I did. My fish are doing great, happy, and playing. Check this out. I removed all the sand, and I only have some under the rocks, which I'll take care of tomorrow. I got to remove the rock, and some in the egg crate squares. My fish have always been happy and cool. They seem to be a little more playful because sand and the gunk trapped in the sand bed, it actually steals oxygen from the water. So no sand bed leaves more oxygen in the water. Lower salinity, by the way, leaves more oxygen in the water. If you don't have coral, it's recommended to have your salt level at 1.018. I always do when I had quarantine tanks, and the fish were loving it. A little more vibrant, a little more playful, a little more everything. And guess what? You know what? Before I came down here to film this, my fish were popping, and the corals, like within 24 hours of removing the second half of the sand bed last night. I didn't film it. I was going to live stream it. I decided not to. My corals look more lively. There's a little more color. And like one of the Duncans has got like 5 heads. The other Duncan has got easily 40 to 50 heads. It's a monster beast. The other coral was always kind of like, on it, the kind of like limpy, but doing well. It's nice and full now. And the beast is a full-headed beast. It's like bigger and flowing, really nice. Really weird. Once I removed that sand bed, I saw a difference in my coral in just 24 hours. Pretty cool. Now, I was concerned about my mandarin goby because he eats the copepods, and the copepods, they dwell in the sand. But I've been doing a lot of reading, and people do have mandarins that they did go bare bottom and they removed all the sand. And since the copepods pretty much live in the rock and then the tiny crevices of the rock and all these places you can't even see, it's totally fine, and their gobies are doing great. So I'm not as concerned as I used to be. You're a fellow reefer. Hey, Router, how do you feel about freshwater decorations like a big ship in the middle of a tank instead of live rock aquascape? That might be pretty cool, but it reminds me of freshwater fish too much. Although I did find a really cool old shipwreck in Petco or PetSmart. It was like $80 or something like that, just to sit in the middle of the tank. That would be pretty cool. But I kind of like the rockwork look, because it's more of like the ocean. Let's see. Wow, Michigan fan just put a bid on a 500-gallon. Wow, man. That's crazy. Hey, Ryder, have you ever cured dried rock? I have not. Dried rock is the rock that you buy off the shelf, everybody, just in case you don't know. And I like to say that because there's a lot of newcomers to the saltwater hobby. A lot of us take for granted what we've learned over the months or years, so I like to just interject with things. I know you guys know pretty much everything I'm talking about, but I've not cured it. Curing it is when you get live rock off the shelf. Dead rock. Dead rock because there's no organisms or bacteria on it. It's just like off the shelf, dry. And I prefer to get all my stuff dry because if you bring something live into your tank, you're always risking bringing in parasites or hitchhikers or those white asterina, whatever, starfish bastards. Curing the rock prepares it to be in your saltwater tank. There's a few different ways I've seen people do it. But basically, you're going to put it in a Rubbermaid container of salt water. You're going to put a heater in it and a power head so it churns and everything. You're going to get that water used to it. You're going to get all the... you're basically breaking it in. And you don't want it to leach any phosphates or anything. You don't know what's been in the store. There's dust. Maybe there's chemicals in the fish store. So you want to basically prepare that rock. You could also use tank water from a tank water change. Pour the old water in the Rubbermaid. Do that once a week. Some people have let it cure for 2 months. You know what? I just basically soak it, let it sit for a few hours in salt water, dump it out, put fresh salt water in, soak it, let it sit again for a few hours with a heater, and then I just put it in my tank. It's really all I do. Also, RODI water is a final dip for a couple hours. So in case there's any hitchhikers, not like, because it's dead, so there's not going to be any hitchhikers, but I mean like chemicals or anything like that. I just want to do a final rinse, and I'm in a habit of doing everything in RODI water, so I just do that one final rinse, then I put it in my tank. Never had an issue. That's what I do. I don't know. I also don't use a heater when I mix my salt in the water. I just do it, and I have a power head. After about an hour, I throw it in my tank. I'm using Red Sea currently. I like Pucani rock because it's very light and it's very porous. You want very porous rock. And I'm a fan of lighter rock for obvious reasons. less weight in the tank, and if it falls on the glass, less of a chance that it's going to cause a problem. If you watch on Bulk Reef Supply, they've cut Pucani rock in half with a saw, and they've also cut regular rock in half. The regular rock is really not porous at all. It looks like a solid piece of wood, whereas the Pucani is very porous. The more pores in the rock, the more areas for the copepods and the bacteria to breathe through. And that's what you want. Porous, light rock. Dustin picked up a pulsing xenia the other day. That's really cool. I want to do that too. I totally want to do that. Because I've not had, believe it or not, much luck with the with that coral. They just seem to die. You could also do acid bath. 40 breeder said acid bath. So, you know, when I, like, in my tank, I kind of rely on, like, Mother Nature and biology. I don't have reactors. I don't have a lot of automated things. I don't do dosing. I don't do any of that. The only time I dose is I might put, like, a quarter cup of calcium in with a water change once every 3 weeks. I monitor. I like to keep the calcium at like 550 because of my coralline algae, which has taken a total beating. The coralline algae is that beautiful purple on the rocks. I love that. That, star polyps, and clownfish are what really made me want to get into the hobby. And coralline algae is a great sign that your tank is really doing well, and it thrives on the calcium. So I'll dose that as needed. I keep it at 550. But those Asterina starfish, they drilled through my coralline algae, making my rock pretty much white again. I hate those bastards. And just the tank has been through hell between those starfish and the green hair algae. Just a disaster. So yeah, I'm all natural. So you guys, hold on a second. Let me check something here. Very interesting. Give me 1 second. I want to look at something here. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. You got an octopus yesterday? Reef Keeper, you said, good luck, Pucani is tough. I battled, CJ battled. What do you mean by that? What do you mean it's tough? Like, it's good? Real pumps, that's all I use. A 420 GPH pump to move the water and a heater. That's great. Yeah, Michigan fan, definitely. Put pictures up in the forum. RouterTubeReef.com. Really? CJ battled Pucani algae for months. I didn't know that. Huh. It's full of crap and leaches phosphates really bad. I had hair algae after acid wash and bleach wash. Best to cure Pucani in heated water as long as you can. Interesting. Maybe I won't go with the Pucani then. Really? I'll have to check into that. So the Pucani rock leaches it forever, huh? Very interesting. Okay, now you bring up a really good point. Dead organics stuck in every crack and crevice. Every crack and crevice is really good to have for bacteria growth and copepods and all those living things in your tank. That said, though, you're right. And that's why I got rid of those marine pure blocks. Remember I had those like a year and a half ago or something like that? Marine pure blocks are so porous and they hold so much water. And it seemed like my nitrates were rising when I had those marine pure blocks. They were getting clogged with fish waste because I had them in the sump. Anywhere you put those, they're going to get clogged. And a lot of people have said that too. They notice that their nitrates are getting higher with the marine pure blocks and things just kind of clog. I mean, it makes sense, right? If Pucani's going to clog, and we're talking about that right now, right here, what do you think the marine pure is going to do? Have you ever seen on bulk reef supply when they pour the water out of the marine pure block, how much water comes out of that block? It holds it for days. Those things get clogged. Really? Okay. BRS removed the marine pure from their show tank. I wonder why they did that. Maybe because of what I just said. But I felt bad removing it. I'm like, well, let me just give this more of a chance. I had the block in there for 9 months, and then I got a hold of Marine Pure, and they're like, one of the executives, I don't remember her name, but she was cool. And she's like, well, we recommend using a second one then. One to, I can't remember what she said, but the second block would be to lower the nitrates. I don't have room for 2 of those big blocks. I just got rid of them. I just got rid of them. So Mandy still uses the Marine Pure. That's really good. And you clean it in salt water when you do a change. That's great. But it's just too much work. And are you really cleaning out all those pores? That's the problem. Oh, one other thing with sand, since we're talking about sand beds. Crushed coral, don't use it because it captures all that garbage. And, yeah, it's a nitrate factory. That's a nitrate factory, not canister filters. Matthew asked, what about Miracle Mud? Thinking of setting up a fugue with it in Chiato. I don't know. The jury's out on Miracle Mud. That's one of those things. I've got that exact same setup. I've got Miracle Mud and the Chiato acting as a refugium in my second sump. I don't know. I really, really like the Chiato. I like the idea of a refugium because it breeds the copepods. They can live in peace without the threat of being eaten, so they can multiply. More importantly, it keeps the nitrates down because the Chiato feeds on nitrates. But a cool thing that I like is the Chiato acts as like a filter because the water comes in from the overflow and it runs through the Chiato, capturing whatever fish waste and solids, food that's uneaten. And then going back to your return pump is just the water. I like that. It's like a natural filter, a natural mechanical filtration. I like that a lot. And biological filtration. You can, Mandy, add Chiato in the back of an all-in-one. And they buy little sun lamps that can clip on to the back and shine down onto the Chiato. Now, with the Refugium / Chiato, you need an awful lot, like what Scott has for Mile High Reefers. He's got that animal trough that he uses for a sump, which is really cool in his basement. That's that's what you need. So with a little tiny bit, it'll help you, because it is just a small aquarium. You might want to check that out. I almost did it when I had my JBJ 45, and CJ had his JBJ 45. Michigan fan hates canister filters. I like them a lot. The only reason people hate them is because they leak if you don't seal them down enough. But also they're known as nitrate factories. I think they just have a bad reputation because people are lazy and they don't want to clean them. I'm not saying you, but people think, oh. And the problem with those is, out of sight, out of mind. You don't see the canister filter. You don't, you're like, it's fine. But you don't see the gunk that's inside. If you can physically see it in your sump, you're going to want to clean it, right? As we all do. You see garbage out, you're going to want to clean it. With the canister filter, you can't see it. So once a week, I would take it, and I would just use it as a filter. I wouldn't have any biological media in there whatsoever. I would just have filter pads, 3 layers of filter pads. It's a canister filter. I used it to filter solids. And then it was great. And once a week, I would just take the pads, throw them away, put 3 new pads in. It was great. Loved them. But you have to be on top of cleaning them. Plus, they don't really get dirty. If you're cleaning them once a week, you just put new pads in and you're done. Thoughts on running just a large fugue with no skimmer? Yeah, a lot of successful saltwater tanks have no protein skimmer. I love my protein skimmer, but if you have some kind of filtration, in fact, a lot of tanks don't even have any kind of filtration. They just let the uneaten food and everything in the water column just flow back into the tank. Even the fish waste, because your cleanup crew is going to take care of that. The copepods are going to take care of that. Your corals are going to eat the uneaten food. It's going to break down in the water. You barely see them, but your corals will get those. So that's one reason of many I don't like sump socks. It captures everything. Plus the sump socks, think about it. It's capturing the waste, how nasty and black those sump socks are. Not only do I hate cleaning them, but that garbage is sitting in your water column in your sump. It's breaking down in your water, which is why I came up with the rotor tube. It's above your water column in the sump, and it doesn't touch the water. You just take the pad out, put the new pad in, you're done. No cleaning, no fuss, no muss. So that's why I don't like sump socks. But a lot of tanks, they just have like a refugium. Some of them have nothing. They just let the water cycle around and let nature take its course, and they're really clean and clear. I tried that once. It was pretty good. It was all right. But certainly you could do a refugium. And even people that have a refugium, they just run their protein skimmer like 4 hours a day, maybe 6 or 5 hours a day. That's it. It does a great job. There's no right or wrong way to have an aquarium. You can have a sand bed. You could not have a sand bed. Don't let anyone tell you what the right and wrong way is. Although, when we're going to talk about an ick parasite or marine velvet, I'm not going to get on that topic. I'm going to cram it down your guys' throats. The right way to do things so you never get ick in your tank. I'll never tell you guys, you should do it this way. I'll show you ways to do it. And by the way, my channel is nothing more than me documenting my tank for myself, and you guys all happen to love following along, and I love that. Totally love it. It's so cool. So thank you again. I can't say thank you enough. So that's why I love this community, and that's why I started the Tube Reef website and forum. No filtration for your all-in-one, says Matthew. That's cool. For the all-in-ones, I did have the foam block to let the water go through, so it could be cycled back into the tank clean. And I would just rinse that out in salt water once a week when I did a water change. Oh yeah, that's right. If you're going to have wrasses or gobies or starfish, you do need a sand bed. Some people, like, I really love my sand sifting gobies. I don't have any anymore, but I love those guys a lot. Such great personalities. I love them. Some people get like Tupperware containers and they put sand in just that, and the goby goes to it. If you're gonna quarantine a goby, like you get it, you should always quarantine brand new fish. You should always quarantine everything. People I did that. I put a bowl of sand in the quarantine tank, and he went to it, and he'd frolic in it, and he would dig in it. It was cool. Michigan fan, my wife said either lose the canister filter or the tank. What does that mean? She said you need to get rid of the canister filter or get rid of your tank. Like if you keep the canister filter, she doesn't want you having the tank. I'm going to check something out here. That's more like it. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, now it looks better to me. Now I'm used to this. Hold on. Let me just readjust this thing. John, you should check out this new LFS in Naperville, Blue Line Corals. They have some great LPS frags. Tell him John sent ya. All right, maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'll give him a call and say, hey, do you mind if I film? Like, I don't even know, to be honest, you guys, like, who knows about my channel? It's a larger channel, but it's not that large. You know, there's a lot of YouTubers that are much larger out there. Like, I'm always amazed if I get recognized at a reef store. It's pretty cool. It's cool to talk to people. But, like, if I said to them at Blue Line Corals, hey, this is Rotter Tube Reef, I'd like to film, would you let me? They'd be like, who? I don't know how well I'm known, so I don't know if I would just even offer that. Maybe I will. We'll see. My green hair algae is for the most part dying because I scraped off the nasty stuff, a third of the rock in my tank I scraped off. And then I'm using the Foss Guard, 2 bags worth, and it's great. That's right. I'm not huge, but I do have a good following. I think I do have the best followers, some of the best followers, and I love you guys, especially the women. I'm just kidding. God. Hey, 40 Breeder just gave me $5. Let me say gave us $5 because this goes into the hosting of the website. I wanted to build a home for all of us. So, thank you, 40 Breeder. $5. I'm going to put your name on the contributors page on RotterTubeReef.com. So thanks. And I'll put a link to your channel if you have one on YouTube. If you don't, I'll just put your name up there. We've already got the names of people who pounded that super chat money icon as a donation to help the channel. I don't ask for money. People nail me for that. This channel seems to be asking for money. You're different. Why is it changing so much? You're always talking about money. I'm not talking about money. I'm saying thank you for those people. And Mandy, love you. She gave me £3. I'm going to put your name up there on that site as well. Mandy has been with me since like close to the beginning. She is awesome. So thank you. So, it's your call, you guys. I'm never going to ask you for money. It's just a nice thing. So I just want to give back by putting your name on the contributors page. It goes into the website, and that's what I'm going to use it for. Any money up and above, I'm going to use it for the channel. Like upgrading the software here for the chats eventually. Anything that can make our community better. So thank you so much. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. 40 Breeder said that he sent me an email about a year ago about being bullied on a forum, and I did a video on it. I remember. God, that pissed me off, man. Bullies on forums, especially saltwater tank forums. I can't stand bullies or... Man, I'm telling you, saltwater tank bullies, at least have something worth bullying somebody over, if that's going to be a thing. Like, be like a race car driver, you know, be some like secret agent. Don't be like, I got saltwater fish and I'm better than you, man. These people got fucking problems, dude. Pardon my Italian, but that's not how it's going to fly on the channel. That's not how it's going to fly on the website. And like you said, I've got a lot of really cool followers. And you know what? It's not just me. It's all the subscribers here. All of us here are following each other. We have a great community, and you guys help each other out. It makes me so happy. Michigan fan. I've thought about starting a channel, but I don't know if I have the time. Guess what? I don't have the time. And I've got 3 other channels. All I do is work, play with the dogs, hang out with the kids. No PlayStation time, really. And I do this, and I make videos, and I work on the tank just a little bit. It's like, oh my God, my life is too nuts. It really is. I'm starting to chomp at the bit way too much. I don't know what's going to go on. But anyway. Oh, Billy graces us with his presence. He waits for the red carpet to roll out, and then he decides to walk on in after people are here. All right, so what's going on, Billy? What am I reading about? Power? Well, don't worry, Dustin. You don't have to go to those places. This is the only place you need to be. Billy, what's going on? Do you not have power? What's going on? Storms? He'll let us know. So having no sand bed, I forgot to talk about that. Having no sand bed, which I just removed mine, what are the pros to that? The pros to no sand bed, you get a lot better flow in the tank because there's no resistance of a sand bed. There's no sand to blow around. There's no food. There's no areas for the food to get trapped. There's no risk of a sand bed imploding with toxins. Things decay. Maybe a fish dies and your cleanup crew doesn't get to it. It could get buried in the sand and decay, and then there's going to be a problem. The cons, it doesn't look as nice. It just doesn't. But to be honest, I don't mind it. Because when I'm laying down on the couch looking at the tank, I couldn't really see much of the sand bed anyway. Plus with the egg crate in it, I think it kind of looks Art Deco. So I might leave the egg crate in there, and I'll just siphon out the fish waste and the uneaten food. There's not going to be much of it. I'm already seeing more flow in my tank. I'm really, really happy with getting rid of this sand bed. It was like, what should I do? I don't know. You can always go back to it. And the good news is I can lay sand in there and I'll have a fresh sand bed and I can take it out in a year or two. 2 at the most. You know what? It was really a lot easier to do than I thought. It took me a total of maybe 90 minutes to remove the whole sand bed, which is about 2 to 3 inches in parts, average, I just used a large net and I netted it out into a 5-gallon bucket. And it took 2 5-gallon buckets filled and I was pretty much done. Why did I use a net instead of siphoning it out? Because when you siphon it out, you're also taking water out. So I'm doing large water changes. I would be using way more water siphoning out those 2 buckets, 10 gallons of, sand. I just use the net. The water stays in there and it's fine. I'll siphon out the little remnants of the sand. This weekend probably. Let's see. So why did you lose power? Was there a storm? Billy Pipes, he lost power for some reason. I'm assuming there's a storm or something. All right, that sucks. My aunt, God, I feel sorry for them. They had terrible storms, like over 50-mile-an-hour winds. Part of their roof went, the siding went. I think a window was taken out, and they lost power for about a day. But I'm glad you're fine. And I hope the power comes back on soon. With or without a fish tank, that's no good. Could you do a clownfish harem in a 30-gallon with anemones? How many clownfish? I had 4 clownfish. No, I had 6 clownfish in a 45-gallon cube. And they were fine. Mad River Reefs, what's up? So yeah, you could do that. That's fine. And it's always best, as you probably know, to get your fish, if you have the money, all at the same time, because there's more of a chance that they'll get along. Out of my 6 fish, 1 unfortunately passed away. I found him stuck to one of the pumps. He died. He was not attacked. He just passed away. Never any aggression. A lot of people say no more than 1 pair of clownfish in the tank. Well, I was fine with 3 pairs. They all swim together. They eat together. They hang out on opposite sides of the tank. Then they're back together with each other. There's always 3 to 4 together. Sometimes all 6 were together. Now all 5 usually hang out. Whatever. Oh, man, Hydro Guy. I'm sorry about the clownfish, dude. That's not good. Sorry about that. Yeah, mine was stuck to my high door. He was fine at night, and then in the morning I saw him. He was stuck to it. Poor little guy. He was one of my Picassos. Yeah, guys, hit the like button because it'll help the channel. If you want, for those of you joining the super chat, if you hit the $sign and you make a contribution, make as much or as little as you want. What that does is it leaves your comment on the channel here for those to see. But also, a cool thing, I'm going to put your name with a link to your channel on the contributors page on RotterTubeReef.com. Backlinks are good. People can see who's contributing, and they can check out your channel. Names are already up there from the last 2 weeks from you guys contributing. Thank you so much. It means a lot. And all that money, it's just going to go into the website for the hosting. I'm doing all the work. I built it. I put hours into it for nothing, of course. But whatever I get is going to go into the hosting for the yearly fees to keep the channel, the website, and the forum running. I want to make it cooler. I'm going to continue adding things. By the way, I think Steve asked, hey, can you add the option of seeing what members are online on the website? I can't. I was looking for a way to program that, and I was in touch with the tech support, at the hosting site, and they say that at this time there's no way to live monitor and keep logs and report back and put it on the site of who's actually logged in. But they like the idea, and they're working on that. So that's cool. So we'll probably see that when you go to RotterdTubeReef.com. You'll see what members are on the site live. There is an instant messaging function now. So if I'm around, my phone will get alerted. If I'm available, I can chat with you guys if you're on the website. That's cool. There's a forum. You can post pictures. Billy Pipes, he was the first one that posted a picture. That's cool, of his gorgeous coral. And there's a lot of cool things in there. I'll add a blog. You guys can add blogs and all that. I've made a handful of you guys moderators as well. So that's cool. We're going to keep the jerks out and have a lot of fun. I'm really, really cool, happy about this website. Cold here on the West Coast. Really? It's cold here in Chicago. Well, not really for me. Right here in Chicago, it's like 40 degrees, maybe 42, 40. I was outside with the dogs. I had no jacket. I was fine. Jordan, I've been in the hobby for about 3 months, and I'm looking for a coral to start. What's the best for a beginner? I would recommend star polyps. Those are the ones that look like grass. And my plan, since I have no sand, I love the star polyps a lot. I've got the really bright neon green, beautiful one, and it's growing like a fiend. I'm going to have that grow on the bottom of my tank where the glass is. So I'm going to have like all this, I call it grass. I'm going to have grass on the whole bottom of the tank. It's going to be wicked cool. What? You got another foot of snow? I think we're supposed to get some snow this weekend, but I'm not thinking about it, because it's probably not going to happen. Somebody, I can't remember, but somebody told me that it's hard to find the neon green star polyps like what I've got. And if you can, and people like reef stores are selling the 1-inch squares of the not so cool star polyps, like kind of gray, for like $49. Is that true? I haven't priced them in a while. But my star polyps are going to be getting out of control. Hell, I never thought I would do this, but I might sell frags. Oh, that's another thing. Tube Reef. I'm not pushing product, you guys. A lot of YouTubers push product. It's there if you want it. I'm going to have the Rotter Tube up if you want to purchase it on Tube Reef. I'll have some shirts only because people have asked. I got to get those rolling. You don't have to buy anything. I don't care. It's just if you want it because people have asked. I've got a couple of other really cool gadgets you'll dig that are inexpensive that are really going to help you. Look for videos on that. Maybe one tomorrow. We'll see. What else was I going to say? I play guitar, and I have for years. I'll have CDs on there as well if you're interested. You can also get it on iTunes. Just do a search for my name. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, yeah, corals. Maybe I'll sell some for not expensive. And if you're in the Chicagoland area, all the better because there's no shipping. Hydro Guy hates that the saltwater hobby is so expensive and he doesn't have the money. Dude, I know. That's why I don't have much going on in my tank, and that's why I try and help you guys out with tips and tricks. I'm not a DIY guy, but as I come up with ideas, DIY, I guess, I will share them on my channel. And if you don't like them, maybe they'll give you ideas for other things you can try. I like to try things out. God, I've tried so many things in my tank in the last 2 years. Then I get away from them. Then I try something else. I get away from them, and I built my own biopellet reactor. That was great. Then I got rid of that. Biopellets don't seem to work in my tank. Mandy asked if I'm doing a t-shirt for the ladies. Those will be bras. All right? No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I will have a t-shirt for the ladies. All right, so yes, we're going to have cool stuff on the store. The store is not active yet, but it's going to have little cool things you guys can just peek through and check out. It's going to be great, but my favorite part of the website is the forum. It's cool to get alerted to see who's posting what and you guys responding to the questions. And I love seeing photos of your tank. It's just great. It's a great site. So check that out. Sign up for it. It's totally free. RotterTubeReef.com. And it'll continue to grow. It's only been up like 4 days. God, it seems like a long time because I've been working on it for a couple weeks. And we've got, I think, a little over 50 members already signed up. You can sign up with Facebook, your Google account, or you can just create an account. It's cool. And don't forget, you can have like, it's really cool. It looks like Mac based. You can have a profile picture, a bio about yourself. Really, really neat stuff. Thank you very much, Slennon13. Good to be here. Glad to have you. Pulsing zinnias would also be nice if they grow. Yeah, they would. That would be sweet, wouldn't it? To have pulsing zinnias on the bare bottom glass. So, at the end of the day, let me just sum it up by saying that sand is great to look at. It houses critters like copepods and bacteria. You can never have enough of that to take care of your tank. But it can also be a ticking time bomb, as people have said. If the sand is too deep, it could trap gases if you stir the sand a little too much. Some people say stir it, and I did a little bit on the surface. If you stir it too much, you release those gases up in the toxins, especially with a deep sand bed. It's really bad. Your fish could die. Throw your tank way out of whack. It's not cool, not good at all. Plus, it's a filthy mess. Things break down. They wedge themselves in the sand. You've got your sand sifters. You've got your gobies. They clean the sand, but only so much. I believe that while they're cleaning it, they're also allowing the food and fish waste to get deeper, more deeply embedded in the sand. And that's not good, because then it just, all that stuff gets trapped. So I removed my sand bed, so when a fish goes to the bathroom, it just kind of floats around the tank. It doesn't get trapped anywhere, and it goes up and out. That's the plan anyway. And then I've got the refugium to take care of the nitrates. And I will say this for those of you who just kind of joined recently. My corals, in the 24 hours I've had no sand, they're a little more, there's something to them. My Duncan's got like easily 50 heads. It's a beast. And it looks more puffy, fluffy, a little more color. And the other Duncan has got 5 heads and it's reaching a little more. And the fish seem to be a little more lively. A little bit. I am glad I got rid of the sand bed. So there's your pros and cons. HYDROGEN, as far as the clownfish, it's terrible, especially if you don't know why. We've all had fish die, and sometimes you just don't know. Maybe it's just their time. Maybe they ingested something. Maybe they got sick. You just don't know. And don't beat yourself up about it. Try not to beat yourself up about it. Easier said than done, I know. But you've done everything you could. At the end of the day, they're not coming back. But I know you want to learn so you can rectify the situation in the future if God forbid it happens. But you know what? There's nothing you're going to do. There's nothing you can do. You inspected him. He looked cool. Maybe it was just his time. Maybe it was just his time. Murphy's Reefing. What are my nitrates today? They're 0. But that could be attributed to the last of the green hair algae locking up the nitrates because they feed on nitrates. Green hair algae is looking pretty nasty. It's turning grayish and it's breaking off more, so that's really cool. So I'm very happy about that. I'll be scraping the last of it off, or close to the last of it off, with a siphon when I do a water change this weekend. And I will be removing the rest of the sand, probably leaving the egg crate in there for now. I don't know, there's something about just completely bare glass that bothers me, and the biggest reason for that is I'm afraid that a rock might drop, and I don't want that glass cracking. A rock has never dropped before, but I just feel like I want to leave the egg crate on, or I may go to Home Depot, but I just don't want to spend the money and get some granite 12-inch by 12-inch tile. That would look sharp. And then have the... And of course, the pain about that is I'm going to have to cut those to shape around my overflows because I've got the 2 overflows on the side. You know, the quarter moon. So that's going to be that deal. So that's going to be a hassle and a half. But I'm imagining granite tile underneath the rock. That's going to look so sharp. Yeah, I know. A lot of people have said be careful of the detritus collecting in the egg crate squares. I'm not nervous, though, to be honest, because that can be easily sucked out with the siphon, no problem. And with the water flow being higher, because there's no sand to kind of block that flow, that water is just flowing everywhere, man. It's bouncing off the crates, bouncing off the walls. And I kind of like the egg crates for that reason, because the egg crates act as a little buffer with all that water flow. Because if there was no egg crates, you can imagine how that water would be just bouncing off everywhere. Glass bottom, glass walls, glass everywhere. With the egg crate, it acts as a tiny buffer to kind of slow that down. I like that. So we'll see. And that's the deal. That is the deal. Does anybody want to call in? I'll give you 5 minutes. The number is 630-503-6017. 630-503-6017. Let me type it. 630-503-6017. You don't have to call, but it's there if you want to. Oops. There's my music. You know what? A lot of people bring up that live aquaria. A lot of people complain about live aquaria. This is Steve. Who's this?
It's Billy Pipes. What up?
What's up, dude? I'm glad you called. So what's going on?
The freaking... You know, I've been wanting to get a generator for the longest time, and yesterday... I heard on the radio, you know, they're like, storms coming, it's going to be heavy snow, expect power outages, and I'm like, you know what? So last night at like 5 o'clock at night, I ran out, got a generator, and then 11 o'clock this morning, power went out.
Oh my God. How much, did you guys get hit with a lot of snow?
No, it was like, it's like maybe like 2 inches of snow, but it came real fast. It was super heavy, and the winds were like 50, 60 miles an hour.
Wow.
So, yeah, a lot of branches fell. And then the power came back on at like, I want to say it was like 3. And I was outside, and I started wrapping up the cords for the generator, and all of a sudden I heard I knew what it was. It was a tree falling somewhere, but a big one. And then I stared at the front door, and then sure enough, Olivia came out, and she said, the power's back out again.
So how long has it been out?
Since 11 this morning.
That's not too bad, but it's not good.
No, yeah, because it's like, If I didn't have a generator, the whole tank would be shot because it's 58 degrees in the house right now.
Wow.
So, yeah, I got lucky.
Well, I sympathize with you because last year, the end of 2017, the water heater on Thanksgiving burst. That was fun times, and then like 3 weeks after, the coldest day of the year, it was like 2 degrees without the wind chill, and the heater took a dive. So I was up till 3 a.m. trying to, learn how heaters are built, so I could try and learn how it works, so I could fix it. And long story short, I had to have a guy come out, and the motor was just dead. So yeah, we all huddled with a space heater in one room for the night.
That's it.
Because I had to special order the motor. So I feel bad for you guys.
Yeah.
So how much power do you have in the house? Do you have like full power, or is it like limited with the generator? What do you got?
Since I set it, because I didn't set it up last night. As soon as I heard that there was no power, I came home. So I didn't even like build the generator like with the legs and all that other crap. I just fired it up. Right now I have. It's actually I can add more to it, but I'll rig it all up later. But right now I have the fridge and the freezer hooked up. I have the entire tank except for the lights. And that's it at the moment. I don't really need anything else, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. Do you have hot water?
Yeah, because we have natural gas and city water, so we don't lose any of that. We have, so the water heater's always running.
So is this a gas generator?
Yeah, regular unleaded gas.
And so it's really loud? Is it like in the garage so you guys don't hear it?
Hell no, I got on the front porch. The neighbors are pissed.
Too bad. Do they
That's it, right?
Do they have power?
No.
Good. No. Well, screw them.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Maybe they should get a generator.
I was like, yeah. I was like, the neighbor next door, he has one of those little ones. It's an inverter generator, and it's the same kind of power. You can plug stuff into it, but it's like the size of a gas can, and it's super quiet.
Okay.
But it's like $1,000 for the little tiny thing.
Oh crap.
Yep.
So do you have an ETA? Did they tell you guys anything?
No. I drove around. I couldn't find any damage or anything. So I don't know. It's like the whole east coast of Pennsylvania is out of power. It's pretty bad.
Oh my God, dude. That's so strange. It doesn't... I mean, we've had 70-mile-an-hour winds and way more snow than that. I mean, you guys have had more snow than that. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yep. It just...
I wonder if someone did something and they're not letting on to it, like some truck crashed into something or some part of the grid just went down and they're blaming the storm. I don't know.
No, it's definitely... Because as soon as I heard the cracking of the tree, and then as soon as I heard it hit the ground or whatever it hit, literally like 3 seconds later, Olivia opened the front door and she says, "We're out of power." And I said, "I know." I knew once I heard that bang, it was no good.
Oh man, dude. Well, of course I don't have to say this, but I'm hoping you guys get like back on like now. That's not.
Yeah, good. I wish.
So
I don't know what they're doing. I'm gonna.
So you do have heat?
No, nope.
Do you have a space heater or something?
No, I could hook a heater up, but I'm gonna check the temperature on the tank later because right now I have. I normally run the tank off of a 250 watt heater, and I got 2 of them in there right now, and it's barely like above 76 degrees. So if it gets too bad, I might actually just, because wiring a heating system into a generator is actually pretty easy. It might take me like a half an hour to do, and I might just do it. I don't know.
Like I got the space heater down here because I'm in the basement, and it looks like a piece of furniture. It's great. I got it from Menards
Yeah.
and Home Depot. If you guys had
Yep.
like one of those, put it in a room, and you guys could all sleep together in a room. That's what we did.
Well, I sent Olivia and the baby to my mom's.
Oh, okay. All right,
So
good.
right now it's just me. Right now it's just me and the dog.
All right. Well, you guys will have to cuddle up.
Oh yeah, she's a Chihuahua. She's pretty much under my pillow, under my head right now.
She's not gonna help you out.
No, yeah, she ain't gonna help me.
She might
yet.
warm your wrist, you know.
Yep.
Well, man, it's good to hear from you. Let me know when you come back online. Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I always say it could be worse. That's my motto. It could be worse.
Yeah, I know. Could also be better, but it's
Yeah.
always. But we're always saying it could be worse.
Yep. I want to call a couple people out and tell them to stop being afraid and to call in. I want to see. I forget if Pat Murphy called in. I want to hear Pat Murphy. I know Bubba.
We could probably
is a
do
little
a
chicken.
conference call here if they called in. You could be online. We
Right.
should try it.
I should call him.
No, I mean
wanna
have them
see
call
PR.
a number and then see if we can bring them in. I'm sure we could do a
Oh yeah,
conference thing.
PR Fish Girl. I don't know if she's working right now. She should be calling. She's been watching you since. That's how I met her. Was on here, and I know she wants to call in, but she's a chicken too. You better call in. I know Bubba called already. I know that, but
Right, he did.
yeah.
He did. I bet these guys don't even have reef tanks, man. That's why they're not calling in.
I know.
They probably
does.
They probably got goldfish bowls, you know, like the little ones that went at a carnival.
Right.
That's what they got.
I want everybody to be nice to PR Fish Girl. She was like Miss Puerto Rico 2012 or something. You guys better be nice to her.
And yeah, speaking of that, Reef Spy, that's not his tank, dude. You know, we were making fun of him last week. No one.
Yep.
He just does a search for like Google search killer saltwater tank. That's mine.
That's it.
No one's got
Yeah.
a tank like that. Have you guys seen Reef Spy's tank? No one's got a tank like that.
It's funny. I was talking to him the other day. He set up a frag tank, and it's completely full of frags already from his 180.
Yeah?
Crazy. Oh yeah.
Man, I love his tank. How's your tank doing?
Mine's good. Everything's good. It's everything's doing well. I'm 2-part dosing, which I've been doing for like 3 months, and then I just changed my sump, which kind of screwed everything up because it took me a little while to get the tank volume, calculated to how much I'm dosing.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I put in a bigger sump, I forgot to measure the gallons, so now I'm like square. Now it's going to take me a couple, probably a good week or two to get back on track with the dosing.
What are you dosing?
Just right now, alkalinity, just 2-part alkalinity calcium.
Okay.
Yep.
You broke up. I didn't hear it. That sounds good. I'm only doing calcium once in a while, like I said, as needed. Just for the coralline algae. I've got to bring that coralline algae back. It was such a deep, vibrant, crazy purple, and I lost it because of those stupid starfish.
I never had any luck growing coralline, and then once my calcium was hitting like right near 500, that's when it really started taking off.
Yeah. I keep mine around 550.
Yep.
And it's good. Now that the stupid green hair algae is coming off the glass, I can see I've got patches of the coralline on the glass, on the back glass. So I'll be going in there tomorrow, scraping that stuff off. Just let it float through the water column and let it land. That's going to be great. Mush Farmer says use Purple Up. Purple Up. That's for people who don't know what they're doing. I gotta give that guy a hard time.
I just see Pat Murphy said that BRS isn't using their two-part anymore. I gotta call him about that. I hope not.
I don't know,
what
but
that's all
somebody
about.
said that they pulled the Marine Pure blocks, and I don't know why.
Oh, they're not selling them now?
They pulled them from their tank. I don't know if they're selling them or not, but they pulled them from their tank. They're not using them in their tanks anymore. I don't know. I remember Ryan did a video a while ago on like, does it trap fish waste or not? And that's exactly why I pulled it from mine, because I'm thinking, wow, this thing holds so much water and the rock is so porous that it's probably trapping everything because it's in my sump. So I got rid of that stuff. I got rid of it. In fact, my nitrates went up when I was using that damn Marine Pure block.
So somebody told me that they did one of their BRS investigates on Reef to Reef, and they said that they were getting traces of aluminum in all the tanks that had the Marine Pure, which is freaking me out. Yeah, because I'm freaked out because I have it in my tank, and if they're not going to sell it anymore, or if they're going to take it out of their tanks, that's a whole different ball right there.
Well, if they take it out of their tanks, everyone's going to freak. Because if they do it, who knows if it's leaching that stuff? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I did read that too. On a couple of the forums, I read that too, and I did see that video from Bulk Reef Supply. And I can't remember what they said, but yeah, and when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? Best that I removed that. That stuff's been gone for at least a year and a half out of my tank. I still have
tanks them. I think tanks that have a heavy bioload. I don't think they're great for heavy bioloads.
Yeah.
Because they get clogged up,
Exactly, and that's one reason why it's like kind of like abandoned ship. Throw everything overboard. That's why I got an impulse like get rid of the sand bed. I've had success with the sand bed before, but I have a feeling it's approaching the old mark. It's been in 2 years. I think the sand bed is kind of dying. So I think getting rid of it is a great thing. If I put a new sand bed in, I'm sure I'll be fine. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to replace a sand bed once every year and a half average.
Yeah. Well, you got those big-ass dolphins swimming around in that tank.
I know. That's the problem, you think? So
Yep.
This is going to be so much better without the sand. I'm actually kind of digging it. I like no sand. I thought I would hate it. I kind of like it. It's really neat.
When I took the sand out of my frag tank, and it was just bare bottom, like no egg crate or nothing, I took the the line locks that have the line locks that for your return pumps, and they have this flat spray head on the ends that you can put on them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't know, it was 3 inches wide and it's real thin. So I hooked it up to a hose and put silicone around it, and then I let it dry for a couple days. And when I did a water change, I would literally just put that at the bottom of the sand bed or bottom of the tank, and it was just like a vacuum cleaner. It just cleaned everything up. It was awesome.
That is cool.
Yep.
That is really
It was
cool.
just like. And then one time I didn't feel like doing a water change, so I siphoned it, and then started the siphon going, and I ran like a filter sock inside of another filter sock.
Yeah.
And I let the water go through that right back into the tank again, and all the detritus just got caught up in all that stuff.
That's a good idea. That's great.
Yeah.
That's why
I got that from I stole that idea from Scott Anderson, because he did that. He was doing that with the rotor tube.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that. No, that crud he pulled out of it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You said something that reminded me. Damn, I can't think of what it was. I don't know. So I got rid of the sand bed. I can't remember what I was going to say. When you were talking about... Man, I can't remember.
Cleaning the bottom?
The what?
About cleaning the bottom?
Yeah, but cleaning the bottom. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I was kind of thinking, I'm going to keep it for a while, but that reminded me that I used to do water changes from my sump. It was great. Just put a little pump in there, do my 10% from there. Fish didn't get disturbed. It cleaned out a lot of the junk. It was awesome. But now that I have the refugium in there, not going to do it. I'm going to keep the refugium for a couple months. Few months. We're going to see how it goes. I love the idea, but I'm not in love with the idea. We're going to see how it goes now that the sand bed is gone, because I would love to have just 2 protein skimmers and call it a day. It would be great. But I'm going to see how it goes.
Yeah, you'll know what'll work best.
Yeah.
I would say keep the refugium, because the critters that were living in the sand need a new place to hide. But
that's what I was going to say next, like the copepods and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're also in your rock. They're in your rocks and stuff too.
Right. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be cool, man. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be great. I got to do a video on my brother's tank. He's got a 75-gallon. It's completely kicking my ass. His tank looks pristine. Yeah, he's nailing me. I look pitiful. It's sad, really, that I've got a channel and he's got nothing, and he's just killing it. So I'll put that video up probably tomorrow for the Saturday video. You guys can see his channel or his video. It's just amazing. I love that tank.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, man. Well, I'll let you go. Please let me know, send me a text or something tomorrow. Let me know how it's going.
All right. Yeah, I'll let you know if I got power back yet or not.
Yes, let me know.
Alrighty.
All right.
I'll talk to you.
All right, man. Get some
one
sleep.
Of these chickens. Get one of these chickens to call in.
Yeah. Get some sleep. Stay warm.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, dude. All right. Thanks for calling. All right.
Yep.
Bye.
Later.
Billy Pipes, everybody. All right, I'll take one more call if you guys want to call, and then we're going to call it a night. I was already on here longer than I thought I was going to be. I appreciate all you guys watching. Thank you so much. Man, doesn't it seem like time just flies? Like, we just did this a couple days ago. It was Friday. Now, it's Friday again. So, what are some good fish and corals for a 30-gallon tank? Nemo fish and star polyps and the pulsing zinnias. See ya, Dustin. Don't forget, no live stream next Saturday. I'll probably put a calendar on RotterdTubeReef.com for those of you who want to check it to see if we're going to be having a stream or not. I think that's going to be best. I'll do that. I'll have a calendar of events, what's going on. So check Tube Reef for the forum, the store, the calendar, and a couple other things. Oh, you guys can instant message and live chat with each other. I added that a few days ago. That's cool. RotterdTubeReef.com. Go ahead and sign up. It's free. Thank you, 40 Breeder, for the contribution that will go into hosting the website for the year. Mandy, you are awesome. You comment a lot. I really appreciate that. You've been there since the beginning pretty much, I think. Thank you for the contribution. I'll put your guys' names up in the contribution page with a link to your channel on Tube Reef. No live stream next weekend because I'm probably not going to be around because it's my birthday. I'm getting older. 1 year closer to death. That's how I see it. Hammers and frog spawn always get along together. Totally true. Totally true. Hammers don't do well in my tank, although I'm going to be getting a hammer because I love them. Now that the sand bed is gone, the nitrates and phosphates will be so much lower. I think that hammer is going to have a really great chance of living. So to sum it up, sand bed or not, I like the sand bed. I love the way it looks. It looks like the ocean. It looks peaceful. It's really calm and soothing. It's great. But it hosts a lot of fish waste and uneaten food, which gets buried in the layers of sand, and it gets packed down. It gets packed down. Sure, you can get a starfish. You can get sand-sifting gobies. That's great. But as they're sifting sand and cleaning the sand, they're also allowing that stuff to get deeper, deeper, and deeper still in your sand bed. If you stir it up, it's going to be really bad. So that's the deal. If you have no sand bed, it doesn't look as nice, not as presentable. But like I said, when I'm looking at my tank laying down, I don't see the sand bed much anyway, so it doesn't matter. What else? A lot more water flow because it's not hitting the sand. The water flow is not being restricted. It's bouncing off the glass bottom, bouncing off the side. A lot more water flow. And that fish waste and uneaten food, it gets taken out of the water column right away through your filtration right into your protein skimmer. It doesn't get trapped or buried in a sand bed because there's no sand bed there. It's great. I personally like, right now, the egg crate underneath my rock. It's kind of got an Art Deco look. In case a rock falls, it'll protect it. So a little bit of uneaten food and fish waste gets trapped in the egg crate. So what? I'm going to pick that up once a week when I do my water cleaning, my siphoning, when I do my 10% water change. It's going to be great. Oh, one other thing. Egg crate or not, the plan is to have my bright green star polyps, the coral that looks like grass, I love that coral, on the whole bottom of my tank. That's going to be sweet. I saw some reef keepers in the UK do that. Oh man, it looked good. I had the idea, and I know other people must be doing it, so I did a search for star polyps on bare bottom. Check it out. Do a Google search or a YouTube search. It looks awesome. It's just green prairie. And then, since my polyps are doing so well, I'm going to probably wind up selling them online or to local people here for less than you can get them in the reef stores. I think I might start selling coral for cheaper. Yeah, you know what, my star polyps, they're growing off the rock. One of them is like an inch off the rock trying to grow onto the sand. So that dude is going to be really happy now because it's got a place to grow. It's going to be awesome. Oh yeah, Inappropriate Reefers doing that too, huh? Great. Stevie GR, I don't know how to pronounce your name. And I've thought of this too. You will have to clean the GSP, green star polyps, if at the bottom of the tank. Totally true. And here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a power head and I'm going to go over the top of the whole bed of star polyps. Let that stuff blow out. Get into the column. I'll do that like once or twice a week. Totally fine. Alright guys, so that's it. Thanks for watching. No live stream next Friday. I'll be unavailable. Don't forget to check out RotterTubeReef.com. Sign up. Thank you 40 Breeder for your donation. Thank you Mandy for your donation. It means a lot. I'll put you guys up in the contributors page. And thank you. That'll go towards running the website. Okay? For that yearly hosting fee. Oh, of course, Matt. Thank you. I love talking with you guys. Seems like all I do in life, and I'm not complaining, is chat with you guys and answer comments and questions on the YouTube channel and Tube Reef. It's so much fun. So thanks for helping make the community kick ass, and I love you guys. I really do. Have a great weekend. Thank God it's Friday, man. and I will see you guys later. Oh, Hydro Guy, how and where do I donate? The donation and any dollar amount you'd like, you can do it here. You can pound the $ in the super chat down below where it says say something. There's a $sign. You hit that super chat, you can do it. Or if you want to go to Tube Reef later on, I set up a PayPal link for those who want to have their name or their business, their YouTube channel on the contributors page. So you could do it here, or you could do it on Tube Reef. You hit it, and then you can pay through PayPal there, or Super Chat here, and then I'll put your names. I've already put the names up for the last couple of weeks on there, and that's how I do that. All right? So I'll set up the store soon, because I know some people have been asking about the rotter tube. A couple people asked about shirts. I made a couple cool shirts for me. Maybe I'll put those up there too. We'll see. All right. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Love y'all. Have a great weekend. Happy reefing, and thanks for watching my videos. It means a lot. I'll see you guys next time.